Hello everyone, welcome to Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's episode only, the investment you're going to talk today will be ETH. First, I want to say happy Friday, everybody. A great week, by the way. Respect to recording time of 9:42 a.m. on Eastern Time. Ethereum countering $4,211, up about 5.20% so far. As you can see clearly on my left corner, the entire crypto market and the equity market is rebounding from the subsequent sell-off that we've been having so far, with the pop the balloon affectation ever since the infrastructure bill passing that happened on obviously early this week on Monday, and also some China crackdown news around crypto that subsequently drive, another pop the balloon type of affectation, right? As of yesterday, we tested the resistance level of the $3,900, right? Just a hair away from the 3,850 per our technical analysis. It seems like today we are rebounding as we hit the RSI scale of the 37 out of 70, which is, just hair enough, by the 35 mark on the RSI being oversold. And right now we are showing some signs of recovery at the moment, right? And again, this is something that is expected. This is foreseeable. This is a normal course of cadence for the monetary circulation to recontinue. So it's further incentivized the rally that we will be sustaining going forward, right? So on the media front, I would say there are some positive news that's happening today. Also with the rebound that we're also seeing today. The first one's I've been thinking about 58 minutes ago, talk about Time Magazine, which is a magazine company, a publishing company. They plan on holding Ethereum on its balance sheet. So they've made this announcement yesterday, and it's published on their website as well, that they're officially gonna be holding this, instead of like putting cash on their balance sheet, which is historically how corporations handle their cash balance, but they're gonna be holding Ethereum as a hedge as well going forward. So it seems like out of all crypto assets, they are specifically pointing at Ethereum rather than Bitcoin, which is quite interesting. So they have their own value proposition or their own bullish sentiment around Ethereum, which obviously for us, large invest. I mean, me, I am a relatively sizable investor into Ethereum. Not like a lot. I only have like 55 Ethereum at the moment. That's something I appreciate for a long term, right? And this is one of the reasons on translating on being up about 5.5% at the moment, trading at 4,222. And the next one's on Cointelegraph about 5 hours ago, talk about Binance Open Layer 2 Ethereum deposit with Arbitrum 1 integration. So this is a more news or development around this layer 2, right? And this is going to be in collaboration in part of the Arbitrum integration, right, to further sustain and improve upon the value proposition of Ethereum going forward, right? And this is something that's not the first time we've heard about this, so this is more new development as Binance is also adopting this integration as well. The next one's I've been thinking about 7 hours ago, talk about was Jack Dorsey right? He's basically talking about with respect to the coins that he's been hammering against, right? Like talk about Ethereum and Dogecoin. Is the value proposition of Ethereum and Dogecoin even sustainable, right? Note the fact that, apologies, my side is acting up again. Excuse me. I'm trying to fix my voice, but it's like I have like a mask on in front of me right now that is hard for me to talk really. So basically the article is talk about just another juxtaposition news comparing Jack Dorsey's value proposition on Bitcoin versus Ethereum and versus Dogecoin. And this is basically a depiction around the sell-off that we've been experiencing so far across the market, right? So not sure why, but Zynga is just like pointing at specifically Ethereum and Dogecoin, even though like Bitcoin has been selling down about 14 to 16% so far from the all-time high of the $69,000, and now it's trading at the 57,900 right now. So again, right, we read it with a grain of salt, right? We have to make some mental adjustments with what they're trying to tell us or persuade us to think. But you know, they have their own biases. Even though journalism is supposed to be non-biased, but it seems like the article is obviously leaning towards one side of the spectrum versus another. Another news on CNBC about 7 hours ago talked about criminals have made off with over $10 billion in DeFi scams and thefts this year. So this is something that is kind of worrisome, right? We've been seeing these type of activities for quite some time now, right? From Coinbase being hacked to Binance being hacked to people losing their wallets to people losing, their accounts because of hacked, right? And it seems like cumulatively, right, they have lost about $10 million in scams and threats this year, just this year alone, which is $10 billion, not a small amount of money. That's a lot of money. That's people hard-earned money, which is quite unfortunate to hear. And then next one, talk about with respect to Bazinga again. I feel like Bazinga's news are quite like just a lot of fluff, right? They try to pump the news so much, but is it really substantive? Let's just take a look real quick. With respect to the regulation fear grips Bitcoin, Ethereum dips attracts buyers, Dogecoin declines sharply. And the article is basically talk about the sell-off that we've been seeing so far. It's a relatively bearish article depicting, some of the worrisome type of pain points that we're seeing across the regulatory dynamics and what they basically foreshadow the price level for these coins to be reaching at going forward. They don't really say anything about the long-term vision, but they just speak very negatively on the recent type of regulatory activities and also the China crackdown. So it seems like feel free to take a read on Bazinga. It's like relatively bearish, that they foresee more sell-off coming, but like per our technical analysis, we know that the bottom is basically almost there, right? But ultimately, it's the speculations that we have to respect that, right? They have their own point of view, so it is what it is, right? And the next one on Bazinga again, about 8 hours ago, talk about why Ethereum must hold about $4,000. If not, it was gonna be worrisome. So this is another article talk about the bearish sentiments around Ethereum price level. So let's just skip that right now and go straight into a technical analysis, because that's like the bread and butter of of triangulating between the news, right? The news are relatively short-term affectation, but technical is always the one telling the truth, right? And apologies for me sounding a little bit nasally today. Like I slept well, but like it's not like the most I don't feel the most comfortable. Let's just put it that way. So right now, we're up about close to 6% right now. We are slowly reversing. Seems like we are reversing. We are at the 47, right, based on our technicals indicator right now. I don't know why it's not showing up. Like everything is not working properly today. 47 out of 70. So you can see that clearly we got to the 3,950 earlier last night, right, and subsequently recuperated back up, like because people were, well, first they were oversold, and secondly because we have been selling down by close to about 18% from the all-time high. So right now recuperating just makes sense, right, because this is a logical resistance level, right? And if we break that further, right, let's just say that today's sustainability is not going to be lasting. We got to go back to the 3,850, and next level will be 3,450 from here, right? But I think again, right, the 3,000, like anywhere below around the level of like 3,950 is a good dip, right? Because we're oversold at that point. So Bitcoin right now is trying to recuperate. We're at the 40 out of 70. So ideally, we got to somewhere around like the 500 yesterday. And the reason we got there is because of the consolidation level that we have here, right? But if we break this further, we're going to go back down to, again, right, to 52, to the 47, and even possibly at the 44 if we have more bearish sentiment going forward. So for Dogecoin right now, again, right, anywhere from 23 to 20 cents would be a good logical dip. Cardano, again, right, I think yesterday was the dip, like 170 or 160. I know some of the people, my friends here on YouTube, have bought the dip for Cardano, so congratulations, because we are still at the relatively oversold zone, right? We were at the 32 as we got to the 170 yesterday. But right now it's still a relatively okay dip, right? But obviously, you probably want to wait for it because this is being dragged up by the whole market, not just specifically Cardano, microly driven. Solana is recuperating because of as we got to the 185, we were, let's see, we were at the 39, so still like relatively more of a bullish type of bearish setup, let's just put it that way. But ideally in a more risk-averse level, because we're still in the bearish state, I think ideally 130 to 113 would be more logical from here. Let me drink some water real quick. Oh my god, my throat is killing me right now. So right now it's 108, right? So it's either we go up to 110 or 101, right? So 105 was the dip, right? And I think $1.01 was the dip, right? So hopefully you guys caught the dip on XRP. The reason we recuperate is because we hit the 37. So whenever you hear anything below like 40, like 38, 35, that's when it's indicating that you were oversold. So that was a good logical dip from here, right? Polkadot, I think right now we're still in a bearish state, right? We're recuperating, but let's see what's the scale looking like right now. We're at the 42. We got to a 38 yesterday. So ideally, buy anywhere from like the 33 all the way to the 25 would be the next logical steps for us to incur more risk. ALGORAND, I know some people actually bought around 160 to 152. So congrats again on, following the technicals. And it seems like, we are, what scale are we on? We got to 38. We're at the 50 right now. So I'll probably hold off on the ALGORAND. I think some of us actually got lucky and bought the dip from there. Shiba Inu is up about 13%. It's not because Shiba Inu is pumping. It's because it's a smaller coin, so it's more price sensitive. So right now we're at the 48 out of 70. So seems like we're reversing. But ideally, because of the fact that we were still kind of overbought, like I would say more neutral rather than oversold. So I think I'll wait until like the 2700 to 900 from here for Shiba Inu. So with respect to risk management level, these are levels I've identified so far, right, per our technical analysis. You saw that I made some revision recently, and still holds true, right, because ultimately you want to buy when it's on a discount, when it's being oversold, right, that's the best time to buy. So that's why I'm, putting these numbers here for your reference, right, but ultimately you could just buy it now and hold it for a long term and see how that goes from here, right? So hopefully this is helpful. Hope you guys have a good Friday. I need to drink more water and get breakfast. I'm relatively winded right now. I really appreciate you for dropping by again, and stay tuned for the club. Take care. Bye.